And I want to first off just welcome everybody this Sunday afternoon for being a part. We appreciate your love and support. And if this is your first time being a part or participating in this particular podcast, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And for those of you that are returning, thank you for coming back. We appreciate you. We love this love and support that we've been getting from Facebook and with our long-standing support from Instagram. So we'll go ahead and get started. For those of you who are not aware, my name is Tiffany. I am a social worker by trade. I have worked in social services for forever. And in doing so, I've just gotten to a place in life that I've had, just so much to give. And this platform, Tiff Talks, was created just for that. It is an open podcast where we discuss topics that we are already talking about, things that we're talking about amongst our friends, things that we're talking about in our peer group, at work, amongst the water fountain, in a beauty shop, in a barber shop. And we just sit back and have an open dialogue to make sure that we're bringing awareness to those things. Topics that we discuss include mental health, include our children, because I have some babies of my own. We also discuss self-care, and we discuss breaking generational curse. And this particular episode, we're going to be discussing alignment. And for me, I can honestly say this 2020 has been a challenge for me, but it's also been an eye-opener. Being able to dig deep and being able to get to a point of just having a lot of self-discovery. So myself, along with my fantastic team, decided that we wanted to showcase an empowerment series and just discussing empowerment from start to finish. And today is our second installment of this empowerment series. And I am so happy to kind of get started and welcome our guests. So as I mentioned, this empowerment series started off by talking about purpose. And on last week, we discussed really kind of defining our purpose, making our purpose our own identity, and really kind of walking in our purpose. And today we're going to be discussing alignment, just to kind of build on that awareness. So I, for one, can definitely say that I've had some experience with some alignment. And really it's been a journey for me. And in doing so, I understand that a lot of times when people think about alignment, they justify it in more of a spiritual realm. But today we'll be talking about alignment as it relates to the reality thereof. So just to make sure that we're all working off of the definition of alignment, looking up alignment in the dictionary, of course, the dictionary defines it as really being able to position yourself in an agreement and being able to be in an alliance with people. So for me, that's how I personally define it, and our discussion is how we're going to move forward with it today. Um, in all honesty, when I think about alignment, I really, it's not very far from purpose, and being able to understand, just as we discussed, purpose is more than just being in the right room with the right people. It's more than just being at the right place at the right time. It's really being able to make sure that you link and connect with people that you identify with and people that you, of course, align with. So for me today, I'm going to share a lot of my experience, and we will also have our talk guest to share a lot of her experience. Now, I know her story, so I am not expecting for her to be as poised as she looks today. I'm expecting her to be very vulnerable with us. And I would anticipate this may be the start of those tears that I discussed with you guys, or really kind of made mention of in our first episode. So before we get too deep into the discussion, I want to go ahead and give our talk guest the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hi, I am Jessica. I am, well, first and foremost, I'm a mom. I'm a mom, I'm a daughter. I am a assistant manager at Oakmore Apartments, and now I am currently trying to transition to make Audacious her the next hair come personal, talker, counselor, all that good stuff. So I'm Jessica. Everybody should know me as JeNise your mommy, or also Audacious her studio.
All right. So, amongst her being the owner and operator of her own beauty studio, that not only includes hair but makeup as well, she also does mobile work for hair care and makeup, and she has a couple of other creative techniques and skills under her sleeve that she didn't share with you guys, but I'll let her make it. Um, One thing that when we initially started talking about empowerment, alignment, as I mentioned, was something that really kind of just stood out and something that I wanted to tackle. And when we thought about alignment, I didn't really have to think far with vetting who I wanted to be a part of this conversation. Because in actuality, Jessica and I have this conversation probably on a daily basis, and maybe in every encounter that we have. And that is because she's also a part of our Tiff Talks Gold Sisters. And in our Gold Sisters, she actually shared her experience with alignment that really just was an eye opener for all of us, and was something that when I sat down and started working on my 2020 vision board and my goals, something that I wanted to be able to remain true to and really take from her experience. So I think really to start this conversation off, the best way would be for you to share with our audience what you shared about aligning your 2019 goals and manifesting those things.
Okay, so oh wow. I think years prior to 2019 actually got me ready for 2000 well no, yeah, years prior to 2019 actually got me ready for the year of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I was all over the place, let's be real. I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Well, no. Let me take that back. I knew what I wanted. I didn't know how to actually get it. And that was like mind boggling to me because my entire life I've been around entrepreneurs. I've been around people who went to work, worked at 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I just knew what I wanted for me. And I just started having these envisions and coming into encounters with people who actually they wanted more, so they kind of like felt my vision a little bit. So I would say, and then not only that, having normal conversations with people. I am a big man of, like, I want to manifest a lot of stuff in my life, and I saw fit with actually putting it all together when I was invited to a Tiff Talks vision board party. And I just knew I had all these thoughts in my head that I wanted to actually visualize, see them, actually make them kind of tangible for me. Then after that, so let's say my first biggest thing was always trying to be an example for my daughter. And I wanted her to know that anything is possible. You don't need anyone. I wanted her to see that you could, like, long as you can envision it, then it can come to pass. So that was my first thing, like wanting to be an example. My second thing was, I just I wanted a home. And then I was just like, okay, that was my first tackle, I guess, of my vision board. I knew biggest day, it was a house. I wanted this house. I had all these thoughts about this house. It was like, I want a house. I want a house. And I just spoke it into existence until it actually uh can't fit. Then I knew I had to put some work in after. But just to actually see it and actually, like, I knew I was closer than what I thought when I was actually to see the vision that was in my head, all these thoughts and everything come into this vision board. And then after that, I just put in work. I think actually saying I wanted it and actually someone hearing me say I wanted it, it kind of gave me like this push, this goal, this initiative. Because what they say, a dream is nothing but it's nothing but a dream unless you actually put some work behind it.
Right, right.
So me saying I wanted a house, that was good and dandy, but me thinking I wanted a house was good and dandy, but actually saying it and let somebody hear it kind of makes you accountable for what you're saying.
Right,
and it
right.
kind of makes you want to see this goal that you have come to pass. So after actually seeing that I want a house, coming to the vision board party, putting it down, putting all these dreams, even with the salon, or with the studio, I just knew I wanted a space where women could come and get their hair done. I'm starting to notice that a lot of people don't like to be around a lot of people when getting their hair done for like insecure reasons and everything. So I just wanted to make something a little bit more personal for all of my clients when they come to me. Like, it's just me and you. If you having a bad day and you want to talk about it, you can just I'm here to hear it and keep it pushing. Because sometimes people just want to be heard. But I really just feel like after actually saying it, it was like, girl, you got to put some go behind this. You can't just say stuff and think people just gonna say, oh, she just said that. No, they gonna want to actually see some stuff come being a prosperous and actually getting those accountability partners to actually keep pushing you. Because it's one thing to start, and then it's another thing to actually have the push behind you so you can keep going, keep going. Because sometimes you can give up on yourself when it gets hard. And let me tell you, it got hard. It got hard. It got so hard to where I didn't even think it would come to pass. But having those accountability partners behind me let me know, things happen that wasn't meant for you. Keep pushing, keep striving, because what's meant for you is gonna stick. And I believe that. I actually, I believe the words that were coming, because I had to have people who was gonna motivate me for me to actually see this pass. Because sometimes I can get in the phone and be like, oh, okay, I just do it like this, and we're gonna see how that works. But to actually have that full team behind me that was saying, no, that wasn't the reason that happened. This happened because it was more so like you had to find yourself. Like, that wasn't for you, so you had to go through this to know what is for you is actually right for you. And that's personal and in my work life. So I think that was more so the accountability partners behind me actually saw me to be like, oh yeah, got to do this. Yeah, you see me doing this. Yeah, and actually getting that I guess you would say the gratitude, not even the gratitude, the actual support that actually made me feel grateful that I was going through this with these people. Because it's one thing, dragging along some people, it'd be a whole different other story.
Right. And we'll definitely get into that part of it. And one thing that I appreciate of what you shared with us about that experience is talking about the accountability that goes along with it. And also with being at a place where you went through times of this roller coaster of aligning and manifesting, but having that true enough self, to be authentic and have the support from people to be able to hold you accountable, but also to lift you up and kind of help you navigate this process. For me, when it's come down to alignment, my motivation has always been to really kind of just manifest the greatness that is within me. And that starts with being your authentic self and being able to be true to yourself and going through that process of being uncomfortable. And I can say, alignment, it is not for everybody. It is work. It is hard work, but I understand with going through the process that I can't make progress without being uncomfortable. And in those times that I had to be uncomfortable and had to understand that uncomfortability, I really just stuck to this mantra of like, okay, so what is going to matter 10 years from now? What am I manifesting today? What am I working on today? What do I have in my spirit today? What can I do today that's going to matter and have value, 10 years ago, 10 years from now, I'm sorry. And I really don't think that I got to that point until I had things in my life that I wanted to manifest, that I had things of value that I wanted to see more out of. And I remember when you shared your experience that you talked about having a sacred place for your vision board, and then that sacred place, going back to that place and being able to pray and being able to sit with those times. And that's something, like I said, it really stuck with me when I went into what I wanted out of 2020, being able to have a sacred place, being able to have the accountability, being able to be true enough with myself to understand it's not gonna be easy.
No.
It's gonna be some times when I need somebody, and when it's gonna be times when I have to be uncomfortable and to be weak. So what my question for you is, what do you feel is the role of authenticity as it relates to alignment?
I had to strip myself of all the materialistic things around me and know, um, going through, okay, let's put it like this, going through a journey of buying a home is stressful within itself. Even on top of that, going to work and being stressed to the fullest, and actually having to come home and be mama and be everything else. It was to a point to where I needed something that was more so just for me. And the vision board and like, I used to actually go in a closet, and I mean, it was days when I would cry and be like, this can't be life. This can't be the way that I actually envisioned my life going. But I took it as lessons. Every obstacle that I went through, I took it as lessons. And you have to bear yourself down to the core and actually figure out exactly what you want, not what people around you want, what you truly want. And then from there, go push on and go forward. Because for me, being authentic, I think I would have to be the realest with me, because I have to make myself happy. I have to make myself happy before I can even go and try to make somebody else happy, my child happy, be happy at work, be happy doing hair. I have to be happy within myself, because it's gonna be some days where it's gonna be like I'm the only one who can. So to be authentic with yourself is, I think, it's hard, because sometimes you go back and forth with yourself so much to where you don't even know what's really, well, you know what you really want, but you go back and forth with yourself trying to figure it out. Because one day you might like something, the next day you might not. Some days you may go through something that you may necessarily not. So just actually, I just think being in that closet and being with that vision board and actually seeing those tears fall down, and then being able to look up at this board that I'm envisioning and know it's for a reason, it's for a purpose, it's for my child to have something later in life, whether it's for her to actually live here, lease it out. I guess that's when that generational wealth kicked into my head. I wanted to be able to leave something for my child that was going to be beneficial for her, whether it was for her to live in and go from there, like not to actually put a burden on her, or in some cases, if she was to, magically grow up, get married, and actually have this would actually be some type of funds of, that money that was coming in without her even having to do anything but keep up the home. So I think going for this home was more so generational, like what I can leave for my daughter, and what would be beneficial for her. So that's why exactly I think, you got to be authentic to do some stuff like that. Some days I want to give up, and I would be like, this ain't it. This can't be it. I just have to keep looking at this vision that I put that I put in front of me, because all the thoughts in your head, they can rumble, but actually seeing the vision and pushing forward is actually something that I I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started to think back, going through the situations and how I felt like I wanted to give up. It's nothing like seeing a goal through.
Yeah.
It's nothing like seeing what you actually manifest right in front of you. It's tangible. You can see it. I mean, I'd rather stay at home than go somewhere. I mean, that's how much of enjoying your goal can get you.
Right. Right. And I think what stood out most in your and what you just shared is being able to bear your own soul, and being able to be okay with being weak in those times, but being able to look up and see what's in front of you, to see what the goal is, to see um what you are trying to get toward, and use that as motivation. I think so often people are so quick to quote the scripture Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, but they don't always follow it with the mantra of understanding, faith without works is dead. And being able to really understand that when it comes to putting into practice alignment, when it comes into practice of manifestation, you have to be at a point where you take responsibility and you take accountability of the things that you want out of life. And you can't do that being in a position where you don't want to take responsibility. I mean, believe it or not, we live in this day and time where it's so easy to blame. It's so easy to, put things off on other people and not our own taking seriously our own role in things. And I say that because I too, have been guilty. I'm not far from, that far from having been in a position where I can say, I see other people flaws, I see other people wrongdoing, but not my own. When what's for me is for me, that means I have to put forth the effort to go after that, and not, and hold myself accountable and not just the other person. You know what I'm saying? And I truly believe that when it comes down to alignment, oftentimes what we speak is what we identify with unconsciously.
Yes.
And that is because, when you get to a point where you are surrounding yourself, like you said, with sharing your experience, when you surrounding yourself around people that's supporting you, with people that's saying you can do this, you can go after this, I'm with you, I'm here for you, girl, then you have that support to continue on even when it's hard. But just the same, if you sitting in a place where you're around negative people, when you're around negative people are negative things, and people don't hold you accountable, or people feed into their negativity, you can get the same mind frame of being negative about your own manifestation.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can be just that quick to give up because you didn't have nobody there to be able to push you or to pull you back and say, girl, we can do this, we got
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
So, for me, I feel it's important that we take accountability and take, responsibility in our own manifestation, because it is your own responsibility. And we have to remember, life and death lies in the power of your own tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just a mantra, that is words to live by. Life and death lies in the power of your own tongue. If you want it, you got to speak it. And if
Yep.
you're not going to speak it, can't nobody else speak it for you. So for me, when it comes down to aligning, whether good or bad, people will identify with what they own personally seek, or what they see. And I'm interested to know your thoughts in regards to blaming and accountability as it relates to alignment.
I could have blamed everybody around. Well, I'm not gonna say around me, but I could have blamed people in my life for some of the situations that I am currently, well, that I face every day. Put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily give up because of my circumstances. Um, I could I I mean, okay, we can even go to in my own personal life of having a kid without being married, you know, the statistical, everything that's around it. But, and I could blame the person who actually just left me to do this alone, per se. But, or I can put on my big girl draws and be like, I got this.
Right.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to prove that you do not have to be a statistic. You don't have to be that person that's just always needing, I guess you would say. Needing. I wanted to be the person where I would say, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. I don't necessarily need you to get it. But I mean, I have never been a person who wants to blame another person for the way my life is turned out, especially when I'm the only person who can control my life. I'm the only person who can dictate who has access to me and who doesn't.
Right.
And I had to learn that ain't nothing that just came overnight. It took a while for something. For me, it felt like eternity, but it took a minute, and I think it was a growing process. It was a lesson. Even, I mean, I didn't have situations where people come into my life and I knew it was a lesson. It was, or even, and when I say lesson, it could have been even the whole thought of the person showing me that it is something out there better, and not only that, seeing the benefits of what is better. Because if you don't have nothing to compare to what's better, then what can you actually go off of? What can you actually look at and say, yeah, I don't think this for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, do something different. So I'm grateful for everything that has happened into my life. I don't want to blame nobody. I took accountability for my life instead of blaming people around it. I just took the reins and kept driving like I was supposed to. That's how I was taught. Just because one person fall off your wagon doesn't mean the wagon is not gonna keep going. It just means that it's less weight on that wagon for you to get to where you're going. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be somebody who's gonna come around that's gonna get on the wagon with me, that's gonna actually, if it was for them to flip off, it's gonna be so easy for them to actually, you know, if a wheel pop off, it's gonna be so easy for them to hold on to that wagon and keep walking with me versus giving up and going in a different direction. So I would say blaming, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna pick up and go where I need to go. And whoever's, I mean, well, we're gonna probably get to that, but yeah, you gonna figure out that everybody ain't supposed to be on the wagon with you. So you just have to keep going and just hold accountability for yourself and keep pushing for yourself, because like I said, at the end of the day, you're the only person who can make yourself happy. You're the only one who can let people have access to you.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. I'm a firm believer in it. Like, being able to be accountable of not only yourself, but the access that you have as it relates to you, the people who have access to you and the people that don't, because we have to, and that's been a growing pain for me, and we'll definitely get into it. But that's been a growing pain for me, being able to limit my access, being exclusive with myself, and understanding not everybody is worthy of Tiffany or pieces of Tiffany. I see a couple of people that have come in and a couple of comments, so I definitely want to shout them out. I see that Frederick Money has come in. Thank you for joining. I see Scarlett has joined. Hey, how are you? I see Toya has joined as well. Thank you guys for coming in. And Bianca is here as well. Bianca says, stop being nervous, Jessica. You got this. Be yourself. And she said, we are still learning every day as we grow into something better. So yes, definitely agree with both of those. Now, for me, when I've gotten to the point where I wanted to really leverage my alignment, and move from being able to understand what alignment is to being able to be at the point of manifesting things that I wanted for myself, I really had to do, like you said, some soul searching. And in that soul searching, I really felt like this particular year, 2020, has brought a lot of things to the forefront for me in regards to evaluating my own character, but also evaluating or being more observant of people's character and their own integrity, and just bringing some awareness to that. For me, you said it. Alignment is a journey. It's a process. It's not easy at all. And what I found that when I started to leverage my alignment or my process of aligning, I got to the point where I challenged myself. I began to experience some self-doubt in myself. All nouns, people, persons, place, and things. I went through it, and being able to understand those things and being able to, bring awareness for myself, but also being more aware of the people around me. And I had some trouble. I had some growing pains. And I think it's important that we discuss what troubles come along with the journey of alignment, because it's not an easy process. And I don't want to give anyone this false this false picture that is going to be pretty, because it's not. So for me, and I'm interested to know what you would share. What would you say has been the trouble that you've experienced during your process of aligning?
Losing people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, now I think it's really gonna hit me.
I told y'all it's gonna be the tears today, but it's okay. We here.
I would most definitely say losing people. Sometimes you can sort out for your life to be something, and it becomes something totally different. It becomes something that you would have never imagined, because I'm pretty sure all of us figure, even, I mean, relationships wise, that it's gonna be like this.
Mm-hmm.
You expecting it to be like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then real life hits you.
Yeah. Yeah.
People, people. Well, we're gonna keep it at people. People that I thought would be on my journey with me, I've learned that they were not supposed to be on the journey with me, because every time that person was involved in my journey, it came to a halt. It came to a stop. It came to me trying to figure, I mean, me in peace. Once you can't allow someone to take your peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a tackle for me, because some people that I just truly really wanted to be on my journey, that I wanted to guide with me and fly with me and soar with me, saw that it was supposed to be something totally, I don't know if it was supposed to be something totally different for them, but I know it was something totally different for me. Like I say, you when you were a little girl, you sought out your life to be something. And I can say it was my ride ain't been nothing like what I was dreaming of as that little girl. But I say, I take all of it as as lessons that grew me into the person trying to become now. Some stuff that you used to could do, you can't do it no more. Not only that, in work life, sometimes you can be work and personal. You can be loyal to the people that you think you're supposed to be loyal to, and in reality, some people can take your loyalty for granted.
Yeah.
And they can misuse your loyalty, and they can drag it through the ground and make you think that something wrong with you. Basically, you be thinking something wrong with you.
That's the blaming.
Yeah, you be thinking something wrong with yourself. You start doubting yourself. You start thinking like, is this really what it is? And go back and forth with yourself. But I think after I actually, let go of those people and actually, took my soul to find peace, I can say it was the best thing ever. I think my life flows a little bit more easy now. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but I can say it flows at a tone that I can actually keep up with, and it's not hurtful and it's not stressful, because that's another thing. Like, sometimes losing those people can take a whole lot of stress off of you and have you, light enough to keep walking the walk that you truly are supposed to walk. Because some people can drag you and drag you back. Like, I've noticed that even times in my life, I go forward and then go back to the person, and it brings me 10 feet, 10 steps more, 10 steps back. Right. And it's like, hold on, I was just here. And it seemed like every time I come here, I'm back to where I was, the depressed girl, the not feeling up to it, the stressed out drama, all these negativity things that comes your way when I go back those 10 steps. And then when it leaves and it's gone, then like I feel light enough to take those 10 steps plus 10 steps more. And I was talking with somebody and they were telling me, it seems like when you're with someone, and we can say negative, when you're with a negative person, she felt like everything stopped. Everything, nothing was prospering in her life. And then she noticed that once that person was gone, it was like, woo, yep, like, come on, let me get that go-getter back, let me go do. And I don't know if that's the whole sense of you having accountability for yourself to keep pushing forward and going and going and going, or if it's the simple fact of, well, the past is a past for a reason. Sometimes you have to leave that past there for you to get to your future. And because what was wrong back then, believe me, it's gonna be the same thing that was wrong now. And my life was like a roller coaster, whether it was work or relationship wise. My life was all over the place. And I just, baby, when you let go of them people and you actually say, look, this is what I want, and you don't settle for what you want, because sometimes you can settle just to, keep that warm side there. And no one is there to, let me tell you, you don't have to settle for anything, because when something is gone, 10 more gonna come. When one thing leaves, that's like blessings. When you let go of the negativity in your life, all those blessings just flow, and they start flowing 10 times more. I just really paid attention to the people who was around me, the people who was cheering me on, the people who kept me going, and that kind of helped me sort out the people who wasn't supposed to be there. That's why I say losing people was probably the hardest thing, especially losing people was probably the hardest thing, because I sometimes live in a life of being comfortable. Long as it's comfortable and it flow okay, even through the bad times, you'll think, oh, it'll get better. Like, I'ma keep going to work, even though all this stuff is the way it is, because it's comfortable. I know ain't nothing gonna happen. I know this job like the back of my hand. I know this person like the back of my hand. I know when we go through our stuff, it's gonna be our stuff, but it's gonna, let's go to the other side. And then after I actually let all that go and push forward, it was something totally mind blowing. Like, whoo, everything started saying approve, and everything started saying yes. And I wasn't getting a lot of no's and none of those walls that was going. I wasn't getting any of those. I was more so like, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. It was just something that kept drawing me. And when I actually got to what I knew was what was mine, and what I like, the house, when I knew I walked into, like, even with the house, like going through the house situation, like, going to house after house after house after house. One house you fall in love with, and then right there tell you, oh no, that one I already bought.
Yeah.
You go to another house, this stuff got this issues wrong. You go to this other house. Oh, and then when you actually walk through a house and you actually get into the house and you know God left this for you. I remember coming to my home, and I had been getting let down after let down after let down after let down, whether a house was under contract or the house was not sellable or just all kind of stuff. But when I walked into the door of my house, I felt the peace. I felt like God was telling me you're home. Everything was just there, and it's almost like these people made this house for me.
You.
It was the perfect color. It was just a sense of being relieved, being like, this is it, and it flowed naturally. I didn't have a lot of
barriers,
blocks in my. So I would say, yeah, like people and the negativity. Yeah, those were most of my troubles, losing the people who had the negativity.
And for me, I know that has been one of my biggest growing pains in life. Being at a point of losing people and being able to understand that some people are not meant for the journey. Some people are specifically for reason and for season, and being that same way in other people's life. I'm not meant to be a part of everybody's journey that I may have started with. Sometimes I'm only there or I'm only positioned to be there for a season. I'm only positioned to be there for a reason. And sometimes it's both, for that same reason and for that same season, and being okay with that, because this is one thing to see that and to distinguish that, but it's another thing to acknowledge that. You talked about how sometimes going back, you would see the difference and you would see the barriers or the troubles that were the same going back as it was the time before and the time before, but being strong enough to say, you know what, I can't live in this same trouble from trouble to trouble. Nobody wants to live from trouble to trouble. And in order for me to move past this trouble, I have to be at another place in my life. I have to be at a place where I can let go and be, comfortable to move forward, to manifest and to align with what I have for me. And that's in relationships, that's in profession, that is in family, that is amongst friends, that is amongst foes, that is in every area of a person's life. You have to be able to understand that season and that reason people and be okay with that, because until you're okay with that, you'll continue to, like you said, be comfortable and sit in that, and you'll justify it. I learned that you will justify it. I've learned that you will make excuses just so you can keep that side of the bed warm, or just so that you can be comfortable in your workplace, because that's what you do. I'm an avid listener of the Selfish Single podcast by Heather Cherie. And recently she did a show on Joseph, and just his journey through life, and how even from start to finish, from being in alignment within his family, being in alignment of having to go through prison and having to be a slave and being sold into slavery by his brothers. She talked about and she identified these people and these encounters that he had with people as being a part of his audience. And for me, when I listened to this particular episode, the first time I listened to it, it was like, oh. And then I had to go back and listen to it again. And I was like, girl, you're right. I had to listen to it a couple of times because it had to resonate with me. And understanding that, like you said, everybody is not a part of the journey. And I needed to be okay with understanding that sometimes I need to be on the stage by myself, you know, and sometimes it's okay to have people, the people that were on the journey with me, the people that I had envisioned to be with me at this point in my life. Sometimes those people, these people have to be in the audience, and to be okay with that. So for me, I want to know from you, what impact have those people in the audience, whether it be good or bad, what impact has those people had on you in your growing process as you've learned to align?
What impact have they had?
What impact?
It's almost like I want to show you that I can do this, and I don't need you to do this. God put all the fundamentals that I was gonna need to do life, whether it was with somebody or by myself. He gave me everything that I possibly could use. He gave me a gift. I use I don't use, well, currently I am transitioning to use my gift full time. But he gave me a gift to be able to make people look beautiful, naturally beautiful at that. Like, you don't have to have a whole lot to do what you need. But he gave me, I mean, to actually look into the audience and these people see that I did it without them. I think that's the biggest impact that I can possibly get, because in some cases they thought I needed them. They thought that I wouldn't be the person that I am without them. That I wasn't gonna go no further than where I was when I was with them. So my impact is I'm proving you. I'm going to keep proving you. And you could just keep sitting in this audience and keep watching me, because everything that you said, oh, that ain't going to work.
Right.
No, that ain't going to happen. She don't know what she doing. She not going to make it without me. I'm here to show them that, baby, it was gonna happen whether you was in the audience or standing on the side of me. So I'm just here to basically be an example, to let somebody know that you don't need some of those people. Them people who are on the sideline saying no, 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 no. It's some people who actually in the pulpit with you saying yes, yes, yes. And you just have to be a believer within yourself, to keep pushing, to keep, I mean, what other, like, baby, them, oh Jesus, if I think about the times I wanted to be like, yeah, I need this, and to actually get out of it now and know I don't need y'all. I thought I did. I mean, I'm not gonna say I thought I did, but now it's more so like, oh, I can do this. I've been doing this. I've been doing it even when I didn't think that I was doing it.
Yeah.
Like, before I had my daughter, it was like, baby, I was full-time hairstylist. And after I had her, I needed something to be more stable, a little bit more, I know this is coming versus I don't know. The whole not knowing, the unknown part, that was a scary part. But actually looking back and actually seeing, he kept me. He made sure I had everything I needed, even when I didn't think I was gonna get it, from paying bills and people canceling appointments, and then all of a sudden all these appointments start coming back, like, oh, no, I mean, that week wasn't for you, but I'm gonna give you another week that's gonna be 10 times better than what it was. So yes, I do believe that you're gonna keep watching me, you're gonna keep seeing all this goodness that he keep flowing, and I'm just gonna keep manifesting, keep showing people that it's easy. You just have to say it, see it, and put forth effort behind it.
I like what you said about being able to have the fundamentals, because I think so often we shortchange ourselves for the fundamentals. We shortchange ourselves for our own worth. and being able to have people in the audience, whether on the same path, whether in agreement, in alignment with you or not. I feel that everybody in your audience has a role,
Yeah.
and have a purpose. And sometimes those people in the audience are meant to give you motivation. They're meant to bring some identity to yourself where you can find for yourself by yourself. And I want to be clear, and I'm not like talking down on people in the audience. I'm not doing that, because like I said, everybody has a role, but there comes a place in time where everybody have to be the head of their own alignment. And I've had to be in the audience of people's greatness. We've all had to be in the audience of people's greatness. But sometimes the best seat in life is being in the audience, because you get to learn from other people's perspective. You get to learn from other people's experience. And for me, what I learned when I was on stage is that I had enough of myself. I had enough within myself to do it for myself. And when I was in the audience, I learned that, some of these things or some of the routes that they taking, that's not for me. I mean, you can learn good and bad from people, and I don't want to be judgmental. I'm far from the pretty picture or the perfect picture that you may see in front of you. I've had my share of shortcomings and my share of life, and my share of downfalls. But sometimes you have to learn from people things that you got to be happy that you don't have them same problems. You got to be happy that sometimes you got to be happy that you don't have them same issues. And that's not to be mean, that's not to be judgmental. That means that if and when in life I see that or I encounter that, I know what not to do,
Yeah.
And I think that's important, that we learn in life as individuals, because at the end of the day, like you said, what's for you is going to be for you. And it's going to be all up to you to manifest those things, and to make sure that you're just not in the right room at the right time, but you in the right room at the right time doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's for me. I see a couple of people have, did some comments that I want to make sure I jot them out. So I see that Fred has left a comment, and it's a pretty long comment. So he says, some people leech off of your energy. You keep feeding them one way or another, they latch, and then they're hard to get rid of. You have to feed yourself. That's why self-love is important. You don't have to rely on a cycle of pouring into something that doesn't pour into you. That's
Oh,
good.
that's good.
That's
That's
good. That's
good.
good. That's good. And
That's real good. You got to sum
yes,
up. Like,
yes. And Bianca's giving us all type of praise, likes, and claps. So thank you, Bianca. She on the positive side of the audience.
yes, she is. She is one of my positive sides of the audience.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
going through stuff. Yeah, Bianca, no. So yes, I do believe that people put, and not only that, God put people in your life at the time that you most desperately need them.
Right, right.
Because sometimes you don't go sit, you don't go, sit, you don't go looking for that actual accountability partner. Sometimes them accountability partners just pop up on you,
Yeah.
and you be like, hold on now,
Yeah.
but you have to be like, okay, yeah. I understand. I
You
mean,
right.
sometimes they gotta open up your eyes and be like, look, are you not paying attention?
Yeah.
Got all this goodness,
Yeah.
go ahead and shoot for
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
This has been like a very insightful conversation, as I already anticipated, and as I already kind of played, out in my head, because like I said, we've had, I would probably say every time that we sit down, whether it be over the phone, just checking in, girl, or I'm coming to the studio to get myself and my hair and my life together, somehow we always end up talking about alignment. And to close out the show, we always ask that our guests share their testament of today. So, what is the one thing that you want our audience to take from what you've shared today as it relates to alignment?
The visions that you are actually seeing, um, I'm a firm believer in God, and I mean, I let Him lead me. I walk by faith, not sight. Um, I mean, He's not putting those visions in your mind for nothing.
Mm.
I just think that you should. My whole alignment, I got the visions. I took them, I put them down on paper, and I actually put forth all the effort that I had. I leaned on people when I needed to, and I let go of people when I needed to also. Um, I just think that you should keep moving.
Mm.
Even when it gets hard
Mm.
and you feel like it's hard and you want to give up,
Mm.
just know it's somebody else that's dealing with the same issues that you're dealing with it. I
Mm.
mean, well, not necessarily the same issues, but they're going through it just as sort.
Mm.
But I always tell people to just keep pushing,
Mm.
keep moving, don't stop. Let
Mm.
go of when you get the signs of actually seeing that it's not there, it's not for you, then pay attention to those signs, because you don't want to wait like 30, 40 years later
Mm.
and see those signs. You want to actually see those signs and actually go go with those signs,
Mhm.
because they not like the visions that you getting, them signs ain't coming for no apparent reason either.
Mhm.
So I would just say keep pushing, keep striving, because whatever you going for, you're gonna get it.
That's good. That's good. Um, for me, my testament of today would be that to truly live a fruitful life, you have to first be authentic with yourself, and you have to align with that authenticity to be able to seek out and be able to manifest the things that you want out of life. And those things and that authenticity and that alignment, it has to be something that you present and take on that responsibility, take on that accountability every day. You have to present in that way every day. It's not, alignment isn't something that you can put down and pick back up. If you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it, you got to do it. You got to
Mm-hmm.
go for it. And just like Just God Talk Get said, you got to do it. You got to keep moving. Is I'm not here to say that it's easy. I'm not here to say that you won't have loss. I'm not here to say that it won't be uncomfortable. I'm not here to say that it won't be painful. What I will say is that it will be rewarding.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, what's for you is going to be for you, but you have to manifest those things for you. And you can't do that without being aligned with what's for you and making sure that that alignment is what God has for you. So that's my testament of today. Jessica, I want to thank you so very much for being a part of this conversation, for sharing with everyone, for being vulnerable with me and with our audience, and truly being able to help someone, because I know that you helped someone just like you helped me with what you shared with me. A few announcements for those that are a part of the Gold Sisters. The email went out on this morning with the details. And if you did not receive it, please let me know. It went through our Eventbrite page. But if you did not receive it, I'm more than welcome. And I probably will send it to everybody individually also. And for those of you that are interested in our Gold Sisters, please DM me. Y'all good for DM me. So this is the time that I'm welcoming your DMs. Our Gold Sisters third quarter is going to be the final check-in for this year. And that, look at her. Why she got a sad face? Everybody look at her face. And that is because during our fourth quarter, we focus on our visionary party. So this will be our last Gold Sisters check-in for the 2020 year, but we'll definitely remain connected throughout the process. So I want to make sure that you guys that want to be a part, that you have the opportunity to be a part. It is an open dialogue amongst like-minded women to really just love on each other, to share an experience, to share and motivate each other, and to hold each other accountable. And because we are in the month of self-care awareness, we'll be talking all about self-care, which is something we all need right now. Also, on at the end of this month, on September 27th, we will continue the third installment of Tiff Talks Empowerment series, and we are going to be talking about vulnerability. If you didn't cry today, you're definitely gonna cry the next episode. And the very interesting part is myself, along with my spouse, we will be the top guests for that episode. So you will be able to hear from our perspective, both men and women, the man and women perspective about vulnerability. So it's going to be very interesting. I have no hands on this particular episode, on that episode. So I don't know what I'm going to be asked. So I'm probably going to cry. So everybody just come with your tissue and your snacks, because it's going to be interesting. But I look forward to that, and I encourage you guys to remain connected. All of our handlers are here, both Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure that you are liking and sharing this particular episode, and tune into past episodes, because they all build up on each other. And we want to make sure that we are sharing this good information. Don't be selfish. Jessica, if you would, go ahead and let our audience know where they can find you on social media, so they'll be able to like and share your page as well.
Facebook, I am Jessica JeNise Herron, and on IG, I have 2 pages. But we're gonna go forth with this business page with Audacious Her Studio, and that's AUDACIOUS Her HERST Studio STUDIO. So please, please, please come oh yeah, I do masks too. So yeah, look on my page.
She's just not remembering, y'all.
I'm very like creative. I did a studio because there's no telling what you may get from me. In the times I'm like a chameleon. I will flow with whatever I have going on around me. But far as hair, makeup, all your makeup, hair needs, and mask needs, just go to Audacious Her Studio.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. We really appreciate you guys. Make sure, as I mentioned, that you like, share, and leave a comment on our page. And also share with us your testaments and stories in the comment section below. In the meantime, I encourage you guys to keep talking alignment, keep talking purpose, posture, and position, and keep talking empowerment, because we will definitely be doing the same here. I will see you guys on September the 27th for another live episode of Tiff Talks installment 3 of our 2020 empowerment series. Hope you guys have a good evening. Thank you so much.